We are back, ladies and gentlemen, home to Real Madrid's 11th best YouTube channel. This is your boy, MadridistaFitz. We by far are the poorest Real Madrid YouTube coverage. We have the cheapest production. Look around, we're poor as hell. But we sure as hell have the best PowerPoint slides and the best haircuts of any YouTuber out there in the Real Madrid world. But the title of today's video is Perez, that penny-pinching Jew, is cooking again. And Dumfries, whatever you want to call him, Denzel Dumfries, the deal is on. He is coming to Real Madrid for 20 million euros. If you have been living underneath a rock today, if you have no idea who this guy is, he's one of the best right backs in the world. I will admit, he is a little bit older. He is 30 years old, but we are getting him right just in time for the tail end of his prime. And our defense, sure as hell, we need help at right back and defense. I said this in general last year, that the play of both Alverez and Trent Alexander-Arnold when it came to the defensive side of the ball was absolutely abysmal. Both those guys were getting beat down their wings every single game. One of my last memories of watching this sorry Real Madrid team last year, which could only be described as torment and torture week in and week out, was they always had a compilation of our left and right backs absolutely getting fucking torched down the sidelines. I still have nightmares of Elise beating Zac Efron, Alverez down the wing like a red-headed stepchild. The only thing that could be said about that game was straight domestic abuse. And Trent Alexander-Arnold is not much better, maybe worse of a defender than Alverez. But this cat is a legit defender. And say what you want about Florentino Perez, the man has an eye for finances. That is why, despite all the bullshit this year, Real Madrid generated more revenue than any sporting club in the history of sports. Not beyond just football or soccer. Out of any club in the world, we generate more revenue. And in case you're unfamiliar with how the dynamics of financials work, what plays into you being able to buy players or generate a massive amount of revenue is because he is a fiscal genius. That is just facts. Getting this player, a player of Dumfries, I'll call him Dumas. He certainly is going to be a better defender than some of the dumbasses we have on our team. Getting Dumfries on 20 million euros is an absolute fucking fleecing. I guess this guy has a release clause. I'll read it here. It says Denzel Dumfries, whatever we want to call him, has agreed to personal terms with Real Madrid, and the 20 million release clause in Inter's contract will be activated next week, lower than the 25 due to the date. It has already been reported by multiple sources that the Dutchman had been given priority to Real Madrid over Liverpool for any other potential interested clubs. So we are getting this guy on a steal. I think how it works for him is, as long as we sign him by July 1st, this guy apparently has already agreed to personal terms, sort of like Julian Alverez apparently has agreed to personal terms with Barcelona. I'll go into those chumps in a minute. But we have to sign this guy by July 1st because apparently each week his release clause goes up, and it will cap out at $30 million, which obviously we want to save some money. Hopefully we can get this guy when it's at 20 million euros. I think a lot of these signings won't come to full fruition until after the elections, but Florentino Perez is out here making his moves. And one thing I like that Real Madrid is doing is we are targeting areas that we need. Unlike Barcelona, who they are like kids in a candy store. This is the first time that they've been given money in a while, and they are blowing their loads, splooging their money like a Mia Khalifa porno shoot. They're just coming everywhere, going and spending their money on whatever the hell they want on a left wing when they already have Mr. Champions League, which is an absolute madness. Barcelona fans call Rafinha Mr. Champions League. I will bring that up in every video I do from now until the day I die. Calling Mr. Rafinha Mr. Champions League is like calling me Mr. Millionaire. I've never sniffed $1 million fucking in my life, nor has Rafinha or any Barcelona player sniffed a Champions League final in the last 13 years. It does not happen. just like Malia Khalifa has not sniffed virginity in probably 40 years. That is the track that Barcelona is going on when it comes to Champions League. And Rafinha will die not winning a Champions League. Sorry, Rafinha, you're a great player. You're more likely to win a World Cup than a Champions League. But moving on from that, Barcelona is out here spending like madmen on Anthony Gordon, of all players. We'll talk about them and their pursuit of Julian Alverez, but let's get back to Real Madrid, the finest football club. If nothing else, they play dog shit football, but fiscally the best team in Europe. And this is a hell of a deal. Who are we getting? How can we describe Mr. Denzel, not Denzel Washington, Denzel Dumfries? Dumfries? I'm going to have to get that down. I don't even care. He's my new favorite right back at Real Madrid. This cat is going to challenge Trent Alexander-Arnold for a starting position, and he may even be able to fill that role. Mourinho is going to love this cat. What I like about him is he is tall and athletic. Looking at this guy, there's not an ounce of fat on this dude. No homo. He is going to fit the mold of a attacking defender, a modern day wing back. This cat, what he's known for, I'll just read it. It says, Denzel Dumfries is a Dutch professional footballer renowned for his relentless athleticism, pace, and aerial prowess. I love the aerial prowess part because we struggle when the ball is crossed into the box. That's just facts. The only guy that we have in there that can head the ball away is Antonio Rudiger. He's the only dude on our team that's a defender that's built like a man. We have Mr. Zac Efron, who's built like a 16-year-old girl. We have Mr. Dean Huijsen, a lot of talent on the ball, also built like a 16-year-old girl. Raul Asensio. I'm going to call him Marco Asensio till the day I die. Raul Asensio, he is a hothead and does dumb things in the box, always getting red cards. And then our right back is Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is a classic ball watcher. That man never watches his man. He just lets his man run wherever he wants, wherever they want. And all Trent Alexander is doing is watching the game. He's watching the ball. That is what a ball watcher is. This cat, it's great that he's going to be good in the air because we sure as hell need someone to clear the ball out on set pieces and corners. Him coupled with Rudiger, that will help us out a lot as long as Rudiger stays happy. And we have another guy that might be coming in that will be bolstering our defense, which I love to see. Honestly, this is a good day for Real Madrid. I love it so far. So this cat, like I said, is 6'2". He weighs about 176 pounds. His preferred foot is right foot. He's known as a modern, attack-minded wingback. His primary strengths are his explosive speed, work rate, and ability to attack spaces in the final third. I love this explosive speed and work rate part because I'm so tired of our right backs getting burnt by Mr. Champions League himself, Rafinha and Marcus Rashford. That shit drives me nuts. And if we have to watch Anthony Gordon, of all cats, burn Trent Alexander-Arnold next year, that would just piss me off even more. So bringing this cat in can help nullify what's going on in the Barcelona attack because we sure as hell need to play better in La Liga. Not even against Barcelona, but against all the smaller clubs. We are complete dog shit against them. Against guys I haven't even heard of, but they took our wingers or our fullbacks behind the woodshed and beat them, like I said, like a red-headed stepchild. So this is going to be a great signing for us. And his only weakness, from what I've read, is his ability to, his technical control dribbling and his crossing into the box. We don't need this cat to cross in the box. We can throw in Trent Alexander-Arnold if we need to cross in the box. And I would argue if we continue our style of employing Mbappe, God forbid, at forward, we should never cross the ball into the box because that cat will never be there. He doesn't make central runs. So it makes no sense starting a right back like Trent Alexander-Arnold, who his primary strength of his game is crossing the ball into the box. We don't need that if we don't have a forward in there that's going to finish those attacks. So I think Dumfries, you're my new dude. I just said dude twice, dude squared. Dumfries, you're my new dude, my guy. I can look forward to you starting over Trent Alexander-Arnold, or at least pushing him to be a better defender. I love this signing. Welcome to Real Madrid. Holla Madrid. I might even have to get your t-shirt. I love you so much already. Thank you. And you will dog walk into our shitty-ass defensive situation. Surely has a chance to be a starter under Jose Mourinho if he ends up coming to our team. The other big news today is advanced talks with another guy. This is another signing. We're going to get this guy for free. Like I said, say what you want about Real Madrid and Florentino Perez. This guy is an absolute, and I can say this because I'm an aspiring Jew to be. This guy is an absolute Jew with his money. He will save any type of dollar that he can get with transfers. I have a buddy, and I know I bring him up a lot. His name's Jefferson Correa. Good guy. He always says that Real Madrid buys championships, blah, blah, blah. We spend more. That's cap. There is no team that has spent more than Barcelona over the last 10 years. That is just facts. Between 3 transfers alone, which were Dembele, who's not on their team anymore, Coutinho, who's not on their team anymore, and Griezmann, who's not in their team anymore, that cost Barcelona nearly $500 million. That contributed to Barcelona's significant long-term debt, which is at $1.5 to $2 billion. And now these fucking madmen are out trying to spend 150 million euros on Julian Alverez. I'll get into Barcelona in a minute, but they are truly like kids in Target. They are like my son. When he gets a hold of my wallet, I have no idea where the fuck my money goes, but it surely goes on shit that he does not need. That is Barcelona when it comes to spending. Like I said, I'll touch on them more in a minute, but this would be a great deal. I don't care if Konate has been in bad form for the last season or two. He surely would be better than any shit defender we have lining up at center back. That's just the truth. Our center backs are not physically imposing. That is my biggest complaint about all our defenders, minus Militao when he actually plays, because he runs hard and at least will put in a shoulder on an opposing offensive player. And Rudiger is an absolute fucking madman. We know that. My biggest chief complaint against all our other defenders is they're simply not physical defenders. To be a good defender, in my opinion, you don't have to absolutely foul the shit out of someone. That's not necessarily being a great defender. But at the end of the day, you have to have some type of physical presence. You have to be able to body someone off the ball. You have to be able to win the one-on-one challenges. Our guys simply do not do this. I've seen multiple games where it took 2 or 3 defenders to knock over an offensive player or to steal the ball off of an offensive player. Konate is a big fucking dude, and I love that. I love we would be bringing a big physical presence into the center of our defense. And the word on the street with him now is France defender Konate is in advanced talks with Real Madrid about joining the La Liga club on a free transfer. As reported by the Daily Telegraph, Konate is close to agreeing terms over a move to the Bernabeu when his contract at Liverpool expires at the end of June. Liverpool announced on Sunday that Konate would leave the club at the end of his current deal. The 27-year-old had previously been in discussion to extend his stay, but those talks came to an end amid a gap between the center half and the club over his value and wages. So this guy's leaving Liverpool. We have been in talks with this cat for a long time. He loves Real Madrid. He probably won't openly say it until he signs for Real Madrid, but this cat is in the prime of his career as well. He's a little bit younger. He's 27, but I think he's closer to like 6'4" and closer to like 190, 185. This is a physically imposing back, and I hope if he's playing, I believe he is playing for France. I hope he has a good World Cup, and I hope you're ready to come and bolster our defense and play hard in the training camp or whatnot. Show Mourinho your grit, and surely you will be a full-time starter at Real Madrid. And once again, you are welcome, my dude, and I may even buy a Konate jersey, because any player that comes into this Real Madrid team, I don't care who they are. I don't care how piss poor they have been in their previous team or how off form they are. They are my new favorite players, because all of these players from last season, except Thibaut Courtois and maybe Raul Garcia or Gonzalo Garcia, my bad, I'm getting names confused. Besides Gonzalo Garcia, because he seems like he has a good attitude. Besides those 2 cats that play for Real Madrid, I'm done with all those motherfuckers. They pissed me off. I had an Mbappe shirt. I fucking threw it out. That guy pisses me off to high heaven. Vinicius Jr., that guy's a fucking crybaby from time to time. Jude Bellingham, I'm okay with him. I'm kind of borderline. Freddie Valverde and Tchouaméni, both players I respected, fighting in the locker room. I'm done with y'all. And our tired ass back line who got beat time and time again, fuck y'all. I'm done with y'all. any new player that comes onto this team, you're my favorite player on Real Madrid, minus Gonzalo Garcia and Thibaut Courtois. I'm okay with you two. And even Brahim Diaz, the Moroccan prince, you can't score worth shit, but you try hard, so you might get a pass in my book as well. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to these two coming into the squad, and I think you'll be seeing pictures of them holding up Real Madrid jerseys right after we get this election done and over with, which I'm really looking forward to because Florentino Perez is making his move now. He's making our team better. And when we get a coach like Jose Mourinho come in that's going to clean up this tired ass, entitled, bratty players that are crybabies, like I say on my channel all the time, there's only one set of people that are bigger crybabies than this Real Madrid team, and that is Barcelona fans themselves. They will cry about anything. But these players are entitled fucking pricks. I can't stand them, and I can't stand their behavior last year. Player power has gone out of control at Real Madrid. We need to clean this up, and I'm glad that there's going to be some new faces, some fresh, hopefully good attitudes in our locker room. Guys that are willing to want to play for Real Madrid, want to play for the shirt, want to die on that pitch, want to work hard. These players don't understand they have the best job in the world. You play at Real Madrid, you play soccer for a living. You play a child's game. You don't have to go into your tired ass 9-to-5 job like myself, and honestly, some days you just fucking hate it and can't stand it. You guys are playing a children's game, a child's game, and getting paid the big bucks, and you're blessed to play at Real Madrid. There is no club that has higher honors or higher prestige than Real Madrid. As soon as you leave Real Madrid, that is a step down, no matter where you go. Say what you want. Real Madrid is the best. We have the most Champions Leagues of all time out of any European club. We've been on an absolute madness, winning 6 Champions Leagues recently within the last 10 odd years. There's no club better than Real Madrid, and I want players that are at Real Madrid that are willing to fight for the club, fight for their honor, fight for the respect of the fans. My God, I just want to have a good time watching Real Madrid, and I want the barking of all the Barcelona fans, all the lip service, all the chattering of their teeth, all their gums flapping. I want it to fucking stop. I really do. I want to put it to those guys next year. I really do. I'm tired of fucking Barcelona. I'm tired of watching. I respect y'all. You guys have a better team. Respect to Lamine Yamal, the Barcelona princess, and Pedri. They are some great players. Feminine Lopez is a great player. I'm going to call him Feminine Lopez till the day he die, or till the day I die, or possibly he dies. But I'm tired of losing to those cocksuckers. There's nothing likable about some of those players. The Barcelona princess himself is just a curly-headed fuck that totes a purse around everywhere. That pisses me off. But getting into that, there is a player that I actually do hope goes to Barcelona. I have a lot of respect for this cat, and I'm going to move on and finally talk about the last thing I want to discuss tonight, and that's Julian Alverez. I have a lot of respect for Julian Alverez as a player. Julian Alverez is an absolute baller. I would love for him to go to Real Madrid. There's no way that would ever happen on God's green earth. I respect this cat. He's not a purse-toting prick like Lamine Yamal. Just a little... He's not a curly-headed fuck like Lamine Yamal. He's just a baller. He goes about his business. You don't hear him talking a lot of shit, like Lamine Yamal, the Barcelona princess. I hope this guy gets the opportunity to leave Atletico Madrid. Let's be for real. He has a contract with Atletico Madrid till 2030, but he won't win anything there. It stinks. Atletico Madrid is going to possibly win as many trophies as Real Madrid as long as Mbappe is playing forward up top, which is absolutely nothing. Atletico Madrid will win as many Champions Leagues as Barcelona has in their last 13 years, which is absolutely nothing. I mean, that's just facts. Atletico Madrid, it's very hard for them to win trophies. It's very hard for them to attract the big players. Julian Alvarez is universally their best player. So I do think that this deal will get across the line, but sure as hell Atletico Madrid is going to fight tooth and nail to stop this from happening. And they're really in the driver's seat, honestly, when it comes to Julian Alvarez. There was reports that came out a couple days ago from their president, and he pretty much said that it said, I'll read it to you. On Monday, Atleti president Enrique Carroza, I'm probably butchering that pronunciation, issued a hands-off warning to Barca and Paris Saint-Germain, who reportedly agreed with Atletico Madrid to put off formal negotiations for Alvarez until after the Champions League final, won on penalties against Arsenal in Budapest on Saturday. This is what the president said. Julian Alvarez is a Atletico Madrid player, not just for this season, or not just for this past season, but for many others, pointing to Alvarez's lengthy contract until 2030. And then I just was curious. So Julian Alvarez does have a release clause. So honestly, if Barcelona want this cat, pay the release clause if you really want to. That's something Barcelona would probably do because they're fucking insane. They just recently got to a okay, I wouldn't even say okay financial place. They got to a place where La Liga or FIFA or UEFA, whoever it is, approved them to actually one-to-one spending, which most normal teams in La Liga have. Like Real Madrid is fiscally stable. They're financially responsible. They won't tank themselves when they're allowed to spend money, and they're giving a 1-to-1 ratio of spending. Barcelona was put to like a 1-to-4 ratio just to save them from themselves because they spend more money in the transfer window than any other team in the last 10 years. That's just facts. They build through the transfer window just like any other team. If you say Barcelona builds through their academy, that's kind of cap. They do with some players, but they also buy a significant amount of players, and they pay more than any other team. So Barcelona, if you really want this guy, the bottom line is, I'll put it this way. I think this deal gets done, but Atletico Madrid is going to try to get every fucking dollar from y'all, and I hope it happens. I would love to see that, because while Barcelona is spending big on offense, they're not doing anything right now to shore up their defense. And their defense got run through like Jenny Sue at the prom. It's just a madness that they're not spending any fucking money yet, or even entertaining the idea of signing a different center back, or maybe a permanent left back. I know they got Cancelo, I believe, that they picked up from the Saudis. He's getting up there in age. Konde, he wants to leave the club. He's fucking tired of playing for Barcelona, probably because he's sick of having to run the high line. The high line will make a decent defender look like shit. You know why that is because it is really hard to play that way. It's really hard to press that high up the pitch because it leaves loads and loads of space in behind your defense. It is hard, unless you are an extremely fast player, to cover all that ground behind you. I know this. I played a little bit of defense in my life. If you are playing a very high line and you get caught, even if you get caught for a second not paying attention, or not paying attention to runs of your players, or not making sure you're completely aligned with your other defenders, there is loads of space for midfielders to pass the ball into, to make a run into, and it really makes you look like shit, but you're really just trying to employ, or I guess you're trying to play around this tactically hard, suicidal type football, I would call it. I couldn't imagine being a defender, honestly, that has to employ this style of football week in and week out. It would be maddening. It would be frustrating for me as a defender, and surely it's a lot of running too, because they're chasing people that are running into space. I have distinct memories this season of Barcelona players picking up red cards because they have to. Whenever a ball is kicked past you and you're the last defender, instinctually what comes to your mind is, oh fuck, I'm screwed. And what you end up doing is, it's just human nature. What you end up doing is you end up pulling the other player's jersey. I've done this multiple times playing soccer. There's no mystery to it. So I feel bad for Barcelona defenders. They probably aren't as dog shit as they appear against the bigger sides in Spain. They can get away with their tactics against La Liga, but look at them in the Champions League. They get rode hard and put away wet. That's just facts. Any big team they went up and played against, even Atletico Madrid, they got their sorry asses kicked over the course of 2 competitions. That's just facts for the queens of Spain. I call them queens of Spain because a real king of Spain would be able to win a Champions League, but they sure as hell aren't able to do that. Maybe they could if they signed Julian Alverez. I honestly hope it happens. Julian Alverez deserves to play for a big club like Barcelona. If that's where he wants to go, Julian Alverez, you're going to have to push to make it happen. But There was another headline. I'll just touch on this briefly before I sign out. It said, I repeat, it's very hard, almost impossible for Julian Alverez to stay at Atletico Madrid next season. Barcelona's offer is real. They offered 100 million with no players included, but Atletico rejected the offer. Right now, Atletico are acting very tough in public, though social media or through social media and messages to the media. They are trying to slow that they're trying to slow that they don't my bad. They are trying to show that they don't want to sell Julian Alvarez and won't change their position easily. But in reality, people inside Atletico know that they will be very difficult for Julian Alvarez to stay at the club next season. That's why a long and complicated negotiation is expected between Atletico, Barcelona, and possibly PSG. Yeah, I think this signing of Julian Alvarez, it's going to have a lot of twists and turns. I really do think that. And I think other clubs are going to try to get in on it because, honestly, I think if PSG lines up an offer and if Julian Alvarez really wants to leave Barcelona, that might be a destination for him. PSG, they got a lot of money. And who would Atletico Madrid rather deal with? Do you think they want to send Julian Alvarez to Barcelona where that dude, Julian Alvarez, is a baller. That dude, he's shit down Real Madrid's throat multiple times this year. I watched the games. He's excellent. He's one of the best strikers of the football in the entire planet with his shooting ability. He may not have the moves like a Lamine Yamal. Not a lot of players do. Hats off to Lamine Yamal for that. But his striking and his ability to kick the ball into the back of the net is terrifying. He's really great. But do you think Atletico Madrid wants to watch their player beat the shit out of them every time they go up against Barcelona? I don't think so. I think if another team steps into the picture and offers something close to these cats at Barcelona that are spending whatever the hell they want, which I truly think what's going to happen to Barcelona. I'm calling it now because I would love to see their income statement or their cash balance sheet or their cash flow statement at the end of the year, all financial documents. I bet you it's going to be a fucking mess after this transfer window, and they're going to go back down to 1-to-4 ratios in spending, and they're going to have a hard time registering their players because they just are fiscally just fucked, honestly. But if it does happen with Barcelona, I would love for them to get just pinched out of every single fucking dollar. I would love for this transfer, especially if I hope this transfer doesn't happen before the World Cup. I really do. I hope Julian Alvarez goes to the World Cup. I don't even care if Messi wins another World Cup, honestly. If they go to the or my bad, he doesn't play for Argentina. I don't believe he does. I'll have to look that up. Who he plays for. Does he play? Let me look this up real quick before I'm back. Sorry, I had to look that up. It was going to bug me. I knew I was right on that one. He plays for Argentina. I don't even care at this point if Argentina wins another World Cup. I would, because I hate Barcelona so much, but I have so much respect for Messi. He is the GOAT and will always be the GOAT of soccer. That's just facts. He's better than Cristiano Ronaldo. I'm a Real Madrid fan, but I will openly admit that Lionel Messi is the best. If Julian Alvarez can help Lionel Messi get to another final win, and if Julian Alvarez can score another 8 goals, something on madness, like set the tournament record, or even if he has like 6 goals, I would love that because that would just raise his transfer fee. You'd be looking at a $200 million player, and I'd love for Barcelona to spend that money and get sucked dry financially and just get fucked next year. Nothing would make me happier. But that's all I have to say. Interesting the way that the market is setting up. Real Madrid bolstering their attack their defense, which looks like... Sorry, my wife just sent me a text saying I was too loud talking. But it looks like Real Madrid is bolstering their defense for the cost of 20 million euros plus player wages, which is just absolutely great news. And Barcelona is probably going to spend, we'll see, 80 million euros already on Anthony Gordon plus another 150 probably. So over 200 million euros on 2 players to make their offense better, not worry about their defense. I love that for them. Good for y'all. You're going to get absolutely pummeled, beat like a redheaded stepchild in the Champions League. Great to see. I look forward to watching it all next year. Hopefully Real Madrid's not as dog shit. No guarantees there. We'll see what they do the rest of the summer. Still need to bring in a midfielder and possibly a right winger or a striker. Please, for the love of God, don't play Mbappe up top. That will just be another dog shit season waiting to happen. But that's it from your boy, MadridistaFitz. Thank you for watching. We're up to 10 subscribers. This channel is growing slowly but steadily. Thank y'all for your loyalty. We are going to get a studio upgrade here. We are not going to be living in absolute poverty. We are going to upgrade the studio here in 2 weeks. Love y'all, even you Barcelona bums. I hate y'all, but I love you too. There's a lot of hate in my heart for y'all, but there's a soft spot in my heart for y'all too. If you end up winning the Champions League next year, as long as it's not PSG, great. I don't think it's ever going to fucking happen. I think generations will die before Barcelona wins another Champions League because you guys are sorry as fuck. But I love y'all. Take care. Bye.